Hey, this is Andrew Barlow coming to you from the ZILDJIAN Learning Zone. Today we're going to be talking about flams. Remember, the F in flams stands for fun. So let's have some fun. Today we're going to be breaking down the flam, talking about different strokes that we can use to incorporate in our flam technique. Also, just to give you more material you can play with your group, your buddies, or on your own at home. So let's get started. So the flam consists of two different strokes. We have our primary and our grace note. Our primary is always up high. Our grace note is always down low. We put them together and we get our flam. As you can hear, the grace note happens slightly before the primary note, and that's okay. It could be wide, a wide flam. It could be a very close, tight flam. We want to match whoever we're playing with, whether that's your group at home, your buddies. You want to make sure that you're deciding on an interpretation and you just stick with that. That's all that matters today. With that, we have some strokes we like to talk about. Kind of gravitate towards 4 strokes. I have my full stroke, which means I start up and end up. I have my down stroke, which means I start up and end down. I have my tap stroke, which means I start down and end down. And then my up stroke, which means I start down and end up. And I think the flam is a great rudiment because we incorporate all of them, all the strokes, depending on if we're playing a bounce rudiment like flam taps, or we can incorporate just maybe 2 of them if we're just playing a normal flam. So, like I said, with the primary grace note, it happens the same on both hands. The primary note is always up. If I switch hands, it's the same thing. Alright, so this came about, this idea of flams to start out my routine or my personal warm-up, because I was always really bad at flams. I had to work a lot on my flams. I found out going to different auditions, there was always a flam rudiment I didn't know about, and I was constantly working on them. So I kind of made it a goal to always start with flams for my warm-up. Whether I'm listening to my metronome or I put tunes on my radio, my computer, whatever it was, I just tried to start with flams so I could get better at them and kind of keep up with the progression of rudiments. So I just started playing, flam taps, flam accents, whatever was the new rudiment that I learned about. I just tried to incorporate that. So I've got this exercise that we want to kind of break down the flam, add to it, and have a little fun while we do it. Let's get started. Starts out with just a bar of maybe 8 on a hand. Sounds like this. Okay, just again, thinking about a warm-up, I want to get started. I'll start out with very basic 8 on a hand, and then I add in a flam. And I do a bar of flams. Okay, again, warming my hands up. You can repeat that as many times as you want. And then I kept my left hand going for the taps. Trying to get my hands moving in different types of directions and different strokes and getting them warmed up. So we have a bar of 8th notes, a bar of flams, and then we have a bar of 16th notes with a tap in between each flam. Now at the end of that, I added a flam tap to get me on my left, because the next phrase, the next 3 bars, repeats the same material but off the left. Okay, so the first 6 bars is kind of like your introduction. You don't want to just jump into a song, you want to ease your way into it maybe. Or maybe you just want to start strong, loud and proud. This kind of gets you into what that would be for your warm-up routine. So let's listen to the first 6 bars. Call that our introduction. When I found myself playing with my favorite songs, and this can be rock, country, pop, hip-hop, whatever you want, I found that flam taps give you the ability to bounce back and forth and get your hands really warm. And then with that, I started extending them. So I've tried to combine different groupings of flam taps, and with a single turnaround or maybe 3 on a hand, just to give us a variety to maybe how it feels to the beat and just to make sure it's still fun. Here we go. This is our 5/4 bar, and our 5/4 bar has groupings of 5 in it. Okay, we're going to repeat that over and over. Let's check that out. Okay. Now with that, as we move forward, our next bar is in 7. In this bar, I took a group of 7, and since one beat turnaround didn't work, we just add a 3 after 2 sets of flam taps, and it gets us back to the other hand. Okay, let's take a look at the 7/4 bar. So we get a nice flow back and forth. Remember, the goal for this whole exercise is to flow back and forth. You want your hands to be relaxed. You want your sticks to bounce and vibrate. There's a huge difference. The first one I was squeezing. The second one I was relaxing inside of my hand. So as you start adding the 3 to the 7 bar grouping, or if you start adding even more to that, we want to stay relaxed and bounce. The goal is to bounce, get your hands warmed up. So let's listen to the 5 and the 7 back to back. Great. The next bar, the final bar that mixes up, is a 9/4 bar. Again, we have a grouping of 9. Kind of like the 5/4 bar, we have a 1 beat turnaround after each grouping of 9 to get us on the other hand. Sounds like this. All right, so we have our 5, 7, 9, and it progresses with that order. And so let's listen to all 3 of them back to back. Great. So after that middle section, we kind of go back to the beginning. We play the first 6 bars, and we have a little outro. And then we have a little tag at the end. We have a full bar of flam taps, and then a bar of floppy flams, or single hand flams. All right, so with those, the flam taps are really doubles with flams on the front. And really this is, if I have to pick one thing I start with these. I could play these all day. They feel great. They bounce back and forth, and hopefully they feel great to you too. Now the last bar, we're talking about single hand flams, and with this, I relax a lot of things. And meaning that, I use my fingers, I use my wrists, and to get back-to-back flams, it's all 4 strokes that I mentioned at the beginning together. We have our downstroke from our primary. Our grace note is an upstroke, and they go back and forth. Now, if you can't do those back-to-back flams, that's okay. Just do some singles to finish out strong. Don't let this one bar not let you finish the exercise. But with that, you want to start developing that ability to go back and forth hand-to-hand with flams. You start out slow. I'm at 100 right now, so you can bring that down. And again, I'm not being strict or tight with my flams. I'm letting them relax. And honestly, when I play them, my grace note comes up, so it's achievable. Okay, because, again, the grace note and the flam makes a flam. If the height's a little higher, that's okay. And with that, I feel a push and a pull with my wrist. My fingers are also involved with that last bar. Let's listen to the last 2 bars. Okay, and it opens up a little bit. Again, that's the consistency that you can achieve with the flams that you want to go for. So the fun thing I love about this is you can loop every bar over and over. Let's say you're listening to your favorite tune and your favorite verse comes on, or you get to the chorus and you love the chorus so much, you can jump to a bar in the exercise and just loop that. Take this as a framework and then mix and match it as you please. It kind of has bookends, so you always have something to come back to, but by all means you can mix and match as you want. Again, so it can flow with your song you're playing with or your metronome. Let's say you're not to the flam level yet. You want a remedy to play this exercise anyway. Take the flams out. There's no reason why you need the flam. 2. And then maybe you switch the third bar up. That's okay. You can just do that. You can really make it to what your level is and substitute any of the 5, 7, and 9 as well. Take the flam out, flow back and forth, you get your groupings of 5, 7, 9, ready to go. Thanks. Hope you had a great time. I'll see you next time.